Hello, and welcome to Metal Brunch Club, a podcast about coffee, blast beats, and three dudes' opinions on metal albums you never wanted. So, crank those volume levels to 11 and enjoy some good old-fashioned metal music with your hosts Bryan, Nick, and Jordan.
And now, it's time for Metal Brunch
Wow, episode 225.
25.
And we're back with another fucking grab bag.
Grab bag.
Or speed run. I don't know,
run.
we never decided on what to call this one, but speed run slash
Speed
grab
grab.
bag. Speed grab.
Speed grab my bag.
Speed bag.
Speed. There we go.
Speed bag my bag.
Speed bag my
on
bag.
Your bag.
And we're going to talk to you guys today about a few different records. So there's so much happening right now. So much
Yeah,
coming
so
out. Even like we wanted to talk about other new albums that have been coming out, but we're like, we got to cover like some of the, I think some of our more favorite ones that have been coming out lately. So
Yeah, March had it like on the same day at least 8 albums that I was interested in talking about coming
we're like,
out.
who the
and it
fuck
was
did
just
we
like
talk about this
yeah.
week?
Way too much.
Yeah.
Can't keep up.
Yeah.
So I think we initially like last episode said Periphery, and then we just grew it into this.
More stuff.
More
Yeah.
stuff.
We will be talking about Periphery later on. We've got a special segment dedicated just to Periphery, so stick around for that. But first up, we're going to talk about, well, I'll let Bryan actually talk about this album.
Oh my god.
We're going to talk about the Texas metalcore band Animate.
Ooh.
And their new album, Heavener. This is the second album with the new vocalist, Marcus Vick.
Yes.
Formerly of, is it Aviana?
Aviana, yeah.
In some previous episodes, we listened to their newest track, and yeah, it was great.
And we've
So,
listened to plenty of,
some good
of
stuff.
stories.
Yeah.
But let's get this kicked off with some new music.
Some fucking-
from Animate. So
Goes
good.
hard.
That fucking breakdown is so crispy.
Yeah.
That baby rips.
Yeah. So a little bit of the background on my thoughts for the album. I've been jamming Animate for a long time, basically since their first album debut, Everchanger. I've enjoyed like every release they've put out pretty much. Love the old vocalist, got a lot of love for the old stuff, but the new stuff with Marcus, I think, is heading into a great direction. They've been able to showcase how well they can adapt and like really showcase the benefits of his vocal style. And guitar-wise, man, he's definitely one of my favorites. What is his name again?
Keaton Goldwire.
Keaton Goldwire.
He's from Texas, but he can't say
Keaton.
Keaton Goldwire.
He is incredible, man. Like guitar-wise, he keeps the fun melodic leads over the riffs and breakdowns, just like the previous albums. But I feel like he's gotten way better at the ambient pieces, being more of like breaks and allowing Marcus to kind of shine in those pieces.
Right.
But they really just, the up and down of the album, the dynamics there are just huge. Like it's definitely probably going to be up there for a top contender for album of the year for me, I think. So
Yeah. I kind of
Hell yeah.
so
hardly agree.
should we listen to a little bit more? Then you guys,
Yeah.
thoughts
I want to
from you
hear some
guys?
more of this shit.
Yeah. So I picked 2 other tracks. We got False Meridian. Let's take a listen.
I love this little tapping intro riff. And I know we make fun of like bands that go from like heavy AF to like the clean parts, but I love every time they do it in this album. Like it always fucking works.
I also think like probably every one of your timestamps, Bryan, literally ends with like a little melodic bit like
Probably.
that. But yeah, fucking the guitar work is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
All those bendy
he brings
riffs
a lot of
and-
groove.
A lot of groove,
A
but
lot of
but also makes it really technical and like a really like approachable way, where it doesn't feel like too confusing. It's just like you can still bounce along to it, but then you're also like, wait, what the fuck? What is this riff? You know? So I love that.
I appreciate how he uses like the bendy things and like he like that opening riff. I kind of like how it goes like one or two note like octaves higher than what you kind of would almost expect of it, and it's just that kind of like creative writing that he does that just sets them a little bit apart from all the rest of their peers. I think a little bit.
I think we have a little bit more from that track.
We do. We have a breakdown because what would this be without some?
You like breakdowns?
Love his happy riff. There it is again.
Yeah.
I never really realized, like I knew it happened on the album, but I didn't really realize how often that happened on the album until we're clipping it. Now I'm just like, all right, 2 for 2, 2 for 2, or 3 for
chill.
3 for 3. I don't know, it's cool, it's chill.
Yeah, that track is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite on the album.
Yeah.
So I had to
That's a fun
showcase
one.
it.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Next up, we got Void Surfacing.
Void's voices.
Surfacing.
Let's freaking hear it.
Looking like I'm walking through space, man.
There it is again.
God damn it.
Yeah, 3 for 3, baby.
But it's always good.
Yeah, but it's still good. Still good. Baby.
I appreciate like, so I mean the trend right now with a lot of like metalcore, deathcore is to like make a lot of like random ass noises with your guitars. And he definitely has like some bits that are kind of like that.
Some little glitchy
But
things.
I appreciate that like he actually writes riffs, he taps. Like I can't remember like the last time I actually heard like an honest to god like tapped riff in a second. Like I mean that's not like
I love the
fucking
tappers.
Darko noise tapping. Like it's
Yeah.
actually
He's
a
not
tapped riff.
doing crazy like scrapes or rakes or just I don't know using some type of pedal for pitch shifting and things like that. I mean, he's just kind of bringing the classic
It's unique.
stuff, and making it good still.
The production on this record is also fucking like
it
insanely
sounds-
good.
Absolutely
sounds
amazing.
great.
It's so solid.
I think we got a little bit more though from
more
little
from
bit
that
more.
same song, Void Surfacing.
That same song.
All right, the last one we didn't get.
yeah,
Well, I just gave you all of it.
that's true.
Yeah,
You were-
I had to showcase one of his like choruses too.
Yeah, overall, like, man, yeah, this is definitely one of the top albums of the year
Yeah.
so far for me. Like,
Yeah, there's I like
A lot of fun.
I know everyone kind of like had talked about there's like just an element to Invent Animate that like you can't really explain. But like you talked about it, I think when we listened to Immolation of Night, that you can't really like explain that quality about them, but it's what like makes them so good. And like this is kind of the first time where like I kind of get it, but I think one of the reasons why this album is so good is they like write to Marcus's strengths a little bit. Like it's very much a Marcus driven album, I think.
Yeah.
And every part of the album kind of really goes hand in hand perfectly with his vocals, and he does a lot of really creative things. Like there's a song Purity Weeps, which is actually the song right before Void Surfacing, where he's doing like these like kind of high cleans over a really heavy breakdown, and it just sounds it's cool. Like I think that clean with the heavy works out well.
Oh yeah, I like it a lot as well.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass album. I think that they're definitely the best band doing this style. Like Currents, I know has an album coming out, and Currents is kind of similar to these guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very interested to see what Currents does, because I haven't been impressed with anything Currents has released. Whereas every Invent Animate single that they released, I've been like
More excited about.
more and more excited over it. So
Yeah, they definitely harnessed whatever that melodic, metalcore, proggy-ish at times, kind of style is. They've kind of made it like their own.
Yeah,
they're really
totally.
good at it. So
Yeah.
nice,
all right,
good shit, man. Thanks for bringing it.
Continuing the speed run.
Yeah, next up in the grab bag, speed bag,
Let's reach on in.
I'm going to talk about the new Chelsea Grin album, Suffer in Heaven. So, Chelsea Grin, they're an American deathcore band from Salt Lake City, Utah. Formed in 2007, the group have released 2 EPs and 7 full-length albums. Wow. And today we're going to be talking about their newest album, Suffer in Heaven. So that first clip is from the intro track "Leave with Us." Yeah, man, something about that intro bit there, when she's like "Leave with us," just like a creepy alien.
Yeah.
I think like it's supposed to actually be something about like Heaven's Gates or whatever, but to me, it just like I think of like aliens like coming to abduct you. Leave with us. Bam.
You're waiting for the Chamtutery.
I'm waiting for that Chamtutery to come in. But I think all of us will agree that this release is probably the favored release out of the 2 albums that they have come out with. This is definitely like a deathcore album that's full of a lot of fun riffs, a lot of like crushing heavy breakdowns, and probably most notably, it's a bit of a masterclass in metal vocals from Mr. Tom Barber.
Thomas Barber.
He kills it on this album, and we're gonna listen to Fathomless Maw
I think I know what part.
just to prove to you how fucking good he is.
He's sitting there checking his watch.
Yeah, he just.
I remember the first time I heard that section, and I was like, all right, this is really heavy. And I was like, oh. And then every single time I just started laughing because it was just dumber and dumber and heavier every time. I was like, they can't keep going. Oh, they did. Okay.
It kind of reminds me like of the closing song on their previous album, where it's just like they just keep doing the breakdown like slower and like
making noise,
making it heavier, and but his vocals there are just like, I mean, it's nuts, like the way he's just like how long those screams are and how layered and like thick and just fucking disgusting they sound sometimes. Obviously he fucking crushes it on this record. Guitar player kills it. Robot drummer He does
Kills
great
it.
too. Yeah,
He's-
AI
yeah.
drummer.
I actually love the introduction of that song with the JFK sample and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole song goes hard, but like it's just a really fun way to get into a track.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
I
did
mean,
that well.
Another thing that I really like about this album is there's sort of like a fantasy aspect to it, which is a lot of fun. You'll find that like in the writing, whether it's like vocally or like instrumentally, you just find like little bits of fantasy.
Yeah.
Sort of like Yorm the Giant, isn't that from?
That's from
Dark Souls?
yeah, it's from Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. But
And
then
then-
they also have a song called Orc March,
Yeah.
which is like
Nerd.
yeah. Just something about that name. I was like, I want to listen to that song. Like I just, I like skipped ahead and listened to Orc March because
And it's actually
just-
like one of the best songs on the album.
and it's a
so it
great
kinda
song.
worked, yeah.
And there's sort of like this part in there I'm gonna play for you where it's like it sounds sort of like an army of like orcs like chanting
Yeah.
in the background. There's little bits of that throughout the whole record, which is like really a lot of fun, I think, for
Yeah.
me. So yeah, you just kind of like hear it in the background. It's just like I don't know.
Super
It just
cool.
appeals to the inner nerd me for sure.
Right. And I mean, one of their videos for their last album was like them playing D&D as well. So you know that they
Yeah.
are kind of some big old nerdy boys
And
too.
all that fantasy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the record is, I think it's 26 minutes long. So it's like just a really fun, easy listen that just, it doesn't really overstay its welcome. It's just like, yeah, all of the writing, all of the breakdowns, all the riffs, just a lot of fun. And in my opinion, better of the two. Although I think
Yeah.
we
think we
were
probably all
reading
agree.
prior to this, like that people seem to be liking.
Yeah, people like
other one,
Suffer in Hell
but-
more, which is crazy to me because it is
You're
objectively
wrong.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come fight us in the comments or wherever in our
Right.
Discord. We'll
It's
be
just
happy
it's just
to,
a boring fucking deathcore
yeah.
record, and this one is fun. So
Yeah.
fuck you.
In my opinion, the writing is way better on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that if they just can like I liked it a lot like on my first listen. I then kind of like listened to it repeatedly like 2-3 times afterwards. And I think like listening to it that much in a row kind of made me realize that like it's definitely a lot better than Suffer in Heaven was.
Yeah.
But I think if they just would have taken the 16 songs that they wrote, pared that down to 10 and like kind of combined some of the ideas,
Yeah, it would have been
it would
much
have been a better
executed.
10 song album that still like conceptually kind of went through because there's a lot of really cool riffs. I think Tom Barber's vocals are awesome on it, but I just think that there's too many parts that are just like slow chugs with like floor toms and stuff like that go on. A lot of really good ideas, but yeah, I think it's definitely the stronger of the two.
Agreed.
Suffer in Heaven, better than Hell.
Yeah, Suffer in Heaven.
Because
better than
apparently
Hell.
you suffer in heaven.
Apparently,
Not in
like
hell.
I saw something on Spotify where their guitarist is like, well, the meaning behind Suffer in Heaven and Suffer in Hell is that everyone goes through adversity and difficulties in their life, no matter where they're at. And I'm like, okay, fucking. I thought that I
Wait.
came to that realization too freshman year of high school. So congratulations, you
Well,
finally.
he saved the better writing material for Heaven. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds a little
Yeah.
biased.
that was one complaint that I have about the record is that the underlying theme, it just kind of felt like they just kind of picked whatever they wanted to in terms of like the fantasy aspects of it.
Yeah.
And I wish that they would like stick to like a theme of fantasy because it does feel like there are aliens, but then there's like this sort of like the Heaven's Gate
Yeah.
kind of
Well, and
metaphor, and then like there's fucking Orc March, which is like Lord of the Rings, and so it's just
Where
all
are
over
we?
the place. I mean, like I enjoy it; it's fun, but
Yeah.
I wish that they would pick a theme and just like really lean into it.
Like-
It could be a lot of fun.
no joke, like the one song he's talking about like blood magic, and then the next song is called Soul Slave, and he's sitting there talking about like how everything is meaningless and like everyone's staring at their phones and like everyone's so edgy and like I don't care, and like it just is like stick with the goofy shit.
Yeah.
Don't try to hit me with like your like we live in a society shit because your takes aren't like the takes aren't good. And yeah, go if you wanna just like read like true edgelord shit, go read the Soul Slave lyrics.
Okay.
They are
I'm gonna go edge to that later. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, edge that later. But yeah, fun album. Definitely a lot better than Hell.
Agreed.
As it should be, I guess.
All right.
What's next?
Well, thank you.
What's next?
And the grab bag with speed bag.
Yeah, and
bag.
the last bag, speed, fitting to end the speed bag with a blazing fast band. Bringing you guys today a band called Judiciary. They're a 5-piece thrash metallic hardcore band from Lubbock, Texas.
Another Texas band.
They released one full-length album prior to Flesh and Blood. Flesh and Blood released this year. And we're going to listen to Engulfed here as the intro to how they fuck.
Broken protection of what life should be. Start of deception, cutting to peace. Ache in the mind, crack in the pain. Ace me alive, my life into flames. Self-cannibalistic mind to steal. Get to hold of itself, big joy to kill. Sand blends inside case, shoved into fire. It's a desire.
Yeah. Very riffy, a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, there's...
Got some old school vibes.
Yeah,
to
these
it.
guys riff fucking hard. So, was reading kind of some interviews with them, and apparently with Flesh and Blood, they went to a bigger name producer, Will Putney. So,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that's why
He does everything.
sounds
William.
fucking amazing. But it sounds crisper, and they were like, we made a lot of changes. We kind of like upped everything to 11, but not just to like be flashy, just to be like where we want to write better sounding music.
Yeah.
And so they got their production game upped. They improved their songwriting, and honestly, I think that they absolutely succeeded. Like this album is what I go to like when I'm looking for good music or like something that I really want to enjoy. This style of an album is like 110% it. So it sounds great. Will Putney's doing his magic on the album. Everything is super well balanced. Nothing sounds too loud compared to any other aspect of the album. And every, guitar line is crisp. And at times actually like some of the vocal lines and the riffing reminds me of like Gojira a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some kind of like yelly bits that the vocalist does that really makes me think of older or newer Gojira's kind of like screaming. And yeah, drummer absolutely fucking slaps. But yeah, the guitars are definitely the highlight of the album. Got 2 guitars, Israel and Kyle, and they both shred with the best of them. Knife in the Dirt is a perfect example of
Good
this.
job.
Got some cool riffing that goes on, and then fucking punishes you at the very end. So let's go ahead and start off with a little bit of
Punish
Knife in
me.
the Dirt.
Punish me, Daddy. Knife in the dart.
A life of mind of question is what I choose to cross. To leave this land of ignorance and loss. A microcosm of sheltered hate. A realm of
Dude, this reminds me of Gojira a lot.
no one escapes. Knife in the dirt. A personified twisted chamber. Out of my own slice. Knife in
Knife in the dart.
Knife in the dirt.
God dang my knife.
So yeah, pretty old school sounding for sure.
I dropped my dang knife in the
Oh,
dart.
dang, I dropped my knife in
Those
the dirt.
rakes were fucking solid.
Yeah. Squelchy. Squelchy rakes.
I understand
it.
why he is upset though, because yeah, dropping your knife in the dirt, trying to like cut your apple
God
or
dang it.
stab a fool, and then you
Drop
drop
my
it.
dang old knife in the
Drop my
dang
dang
dart. Oh, shit. I want to hear more of that goddamn
Yeah, well, I
knife
guess
in the
yeah, we
dart.
can listen to a little bit more, and maybe hopefully find out what he does with said knife in the dirt. So.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That like halftime with the super fast hi-hat. That's a lot of fun.
I love that the guitarist did the little
Squee whoop.
so he's like doing a harmonic and then hitting his whammy bar
the
or
whammy.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
kinda-
I love a halftime riff. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, they
They kind of give me like Unearthed vibes a little bit too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, just any of those metalcore bands that had thrashy elements, they definitely harken back to a lot of that. But it's a really fun album. Yeah, dude, that fucking riff and the bass is really cool in that section too. It's kind of like underlying, just this constant. Yeah, so they can write a riff, but can they write a breakdown? I know is always the question that we have to fill out to bring anything to this show.
That's
Bryan
true.
requires us
Breakdown
to fill it out.
Bryan has
They
to
do
approve.
have to break it down.
And I can report that yes,
Excellent.
they break it down. I want to bring you guys Cobalt
Oh,
Oh,
because it's got a cool ass breakdown. And the guitar solo.
guitar.
Watch them fall like fucking blood, extinguish what they fucking made.
Yeah,
nice. Breakdown Bryan approves.
big breakdown.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, nothing crazy, but they write like a breakdown in the style that like Every Time I Die did, where it was like doesn't have to be tons of double bass, doesn't have to be like
Yeah.
super seriously down tuned. It's just
Yeah, chuggy, tuggy, bap, boop, bap, boop,
Yeah.
It's just a solid breakdown.
I'm trying to think who that vocalist reminds me of. He got that
Gojira.
like hardcore-ish. Well, he kind of sounds a little bit like Straight from the Pathy a little bit at times, maybe.
Oh, like Tom York?
Straight from the
A little
Pathy.
bit.
I can kind of see that. Yeah,
Kind of
for
see
sure.
that at times. Maybe not as, I don't know, Rage influenced as
Yeah.
Straight from the Pats guy, but
There's like that rawness though.
yeah. Well, that guy's got that good like hardcore kind of just straightforward, medium yellowish kind of sound.
He does
Medium
exactly
yell.
two
Yeah.
growls on the album. Like he does two growls on the album only, and they are choice.
choice.
Like, cause you don't expect it, and it's just, and you're like, oh, okay, brother. Okay, I see you.
Hell yeah,
okay, brother.
So yeah, I mean, like the whole album,
Off in the dirt.
all killer, no filler.
filler.
It's 10 songs, 31 minutes, so like nothing overstays its welcome at all. And as a busy, adult, I don't need a fucking long ass
that.
doofy album
like
with
it.
12-minute long songs.
Oof.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I think some of you guys might be wondering, didn't these fools say we were gonna talk about some Periphery?
Yeah.
And we sure as heck are.
Well, I'm excited to bring to you a new segment we have here called Something Stinks.
Something stinks.
Wow.
Was that from the new Periphery? I do remember that being one
Yes.
of the sections.
Secret song. If you guys listen to the last song on the record, which is like what 12 fucking minutes long.
No
If
one,
you get
no
it
one
that
has
far.
actually. No
and
one
then
has.
you get through that, and 30 seconds after that song is over, you get into that little gem there.
And then there's another 30 seconds of silence, and then they do 4 minutes of
More
orchestral
farting. Yeah.
All right.
with farts.
There's a breakdown somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
You'll find it.
I think maybe people are confused because they're like, "What?
Maybe.
You're talking about Periphery? The segment is called Something Stinks." This album, I think for all of us, we were really excited for it. We listened to the singles when they came out. Obviously Periphery, ton of respect for the band, OGs.
Absolutely.
They've got a lot of bops under their belts. But this record, for whatever reason, just did not resonate with the three of us.
It's got bits of bops,
It
but
definitely
not
has
a consistent
of bop.
bop.
It definitely has bops in it, but just little sprinkles of bops,
Sprinkles and bops.
Like lowercase b bop.
Yeah, lowercase b bop, not enough bop to go
A little
around.
bit of bebop, not enough rock steady.
Right.
Yeah, I guess Jordan, what were some of your gripes with this?
Yeah, so kind of like what I was joking with a little bit before is that there are way too many orchestral and like just shoehorned stylistic changes that don't entirely gel, don't come into like a cohesive final product.
I agree.
They when people initially saw that when they were like 12-minute long songs, they were like, oh my god, like these guys are going between the Buried and Me, like they're going to be writing a really long prog epic. And what it actually is a 5-minute long song with
orchestral,
like 7 minutes of orchestral at the very end. Like I think Jackal Grass is a song that's 12 minutes long. I timed it, and it actually ends at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and then continues to go on until 11 minutes and 16 seconds. So there's almost 4 minutes long of just like this orchestral nonsense.
Bit of a filler. I think we have a good example of that from Wildfire. Actually, we've got a couple good examples. So I'm going to play that real quick for you, so you just kind of understand more what we're talking about.
I'm on the set of Mad Men, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm into it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, like I dig this jazz section,
and I do like the jazz section. I think it's cool. I just think that the parts together, just don't really
because it goes
gel.
from. I think if it would have been something like, I think if they found a good way to transition into it, because like I think of like Rivers of Nihil or something like that, who have. I think we should have smooth jazz playing, by the way, behind
through all of our commentary.
Can we
all
just
of our commentary.
can we just use this in the background?
Like Rivers of Nihil has jazzy sections, like they have that sax player.
Yeah.
But the way that they implemented it, like they implemented it into their other composition as opposed to just making it a completely it's like a separate song that's shoehorned into.
Yeah, and it just goes on, for a while. And I don't know, I feel like that's kind of the problem with a lot of their songs is I just like, there would become a point in the song where I'm just like, no, I'm no longer paying attention to it. I just kind of lose interest and then I'm like, wait, what? And where am I? What am I even fucking listening to right now? And I'm like, oh, I'm still on the same fucking song. It's been like 8 minutes.
Right.
So, I also am just like not somebody who is ever usually very stoked to see songs that are like 7, 8, 10, 12 minutes long. Like I'm always like, oh, fuck, all right, this is going to be just like a real commitment for me. So for whatever reason, like I just personally have a harder time getting into like long form songs like this that are so proggy and all over the place and change so often. But I think another good example from Wildfire I'll play for you here as well too.
To the north, it's Gandalf.
Gandalf, I've missed you.
This is fucking Orc March right here too. If you think about it, like this is, and that comes after like that fucking blasty section.
I know, which is so cool and interesting. And then, I mean, I like the parts.
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I could get down on this, but
I could get down on this as an intro. Or like as a legit outro, but like it doesn't. It just fucking stops on the brakes.
Yeah.
And just slams it, and then it transitions.
Well, like that particular track, Wildfire, it comes out of the gate swinging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's such a great way to start off an album because you're like, holy shit, this is like this is very driving. It's really good.
I'm excited.
I was like, oh my God, this new album's gonna be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just kind of like, oh, well, no, it's going up and down for me. I don't really know how I feel about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
one of my favorite examples of that, I guess, is from a song called Silhouette, where it definitely I feel like I hit this song on the album. And I'm like, what? Like, I just couldn't get behind it. So I'm just gonna show you give you a little taste.
Get our past down the wishing well. Your 7 years have come and gone so well. Wishing well. The world keeps turning as we grow. We soak in the afterglow. It's only part of the path we take, lifting our wake. The colors of our past will fade to gray. This life replays in stereo. We soak in the afterglow.
Like, what the fuck? Am I in a rom-com near, like, the middle, like, / later third of it where, like, the couple reunites and they're, like, out, like, on the town. It's, like, a sweaty summer night and they're, like, you know,
They're
running
in
through
love
sprinklers, kissing,
again.
they're in love.
I just want to know, was Misha on board with this? You know, was it like
Yeah.
a?
It was-
Spencer's
that was a
like,
Spencer
This
thing.
is going on the fucking album.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. He
I don't
sounds
care
like,
how genty you are.
He sounds like Little Nicky in the beginning, a little bit to me from the Adam Sandler.
yeah.
And I think that song, like, one, it just sucks ass. Like, it's just not a good transitional
It
track
feels
at all.
I don't know. It feels out of place.
It's a transitional track that's like 3.5 minutes long. So
Yeah.
again, it's like,
Just like a pop
way too long.
song.
like, why?
But it also kind of highlights again, like, they use a lot of Spencer's cleans on this album, and
Yeah.
that's the other gripe that I have is, like, Spencer I think is a good vocalist. He has awesome harsh vocals, I think, and the dude can sing.
Got a lot of range.
I
For
just
sure.
think that he is better like at his mid to lower singing as opposed to like the higher stuff that he's doing there. Like it just really showcases like his clean tone is kind of just like fucking Blink 182 and shitty and whiny.
Yeah, and even like his melodies are like very pop.
Yeah.
Pop like sensible melodies. And I don't know, I just can't get behind it, you know, for whatever reason. It just doesn't fit to me. Another great example from Dying Star. More of the lyrics, the melody, and just like the style of vocal that really turned me off listening to this record.
Feel the warmth as we fill our lungs. Remove the world and all that's become. Breathe out the past.
All right, go for it.
Your heart is open. You're as persistent as a dying star. Playing the part of who you are.
He's like walking along a beach right now.
So go low, take it home.
Yeah, I mean, so there's like things about it that like instrumentally or musically that I enjoy and I like behind some of those vocals, but
Yeah.
some of the lyrics are just so corny and cheesy to me, and I just
He's never been a good lyricist, and you can hide that when he's screaming and you can't understand him. But when he's singing, you're just like, oh, goddamn.
Dying Star. Yeah, just you know,
Like, it sounds good. The album does. No surprise there.
yeah.
And again, like, the musicianship is like fucking top tier.
Top tier,
Like, these
for
guys
sure.
know these guys know how to play their instruments. They just don't know how to like.
Yeah, I hate to sit here and disrespect Periphery. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I really wanted to like this record, and there are things about it that I definitely liked.
Right.
And you know, obviously, we're only showcasing like the reasons we don't like it because we wanted to play that little fart song, something in the beginning. That's the whole reason for all of this. That's pretty much the main reason we're roasting this
We just
record.
wanted to play
Yeah.
Silhouette.
Because there are a lot of really great moments on the album, and yeah, I mean, overall,
It's
like,
a very long album with lots of moments.
lots of moments. Yeah, so you can find them in there. You just got to listen.
I think one of my main things that I was really hoping for was with Hail Stan, the first track was 16 minutes long.
Right.
But I didn't care because at 10 minutes they had the most epic breakdown I've like ever heard in my life.
Reptile. Yeah, that song
Reptile.
fucking slaps.
And like they just everything fades away. They do this huge breakdown and it's like I was like I don't care what the rest of the album sounds like because I have that breakdown.
Yeah.
And that was like my main thing when I heard Wildfire and it started off I was like this album's going to be another banger. Like it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then, you know, every song, the shortest song is like 4 minutes and 50 seconds. And I was like, well, he'll stand like most of the tracks are probably like around 5 minutes, 6 minutes. But I was like, for one, this is just way too long.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay engaged with it, but we've got too many long orchestral parts like you guys are talking about and some of the stuff that we featured. And I was just like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna give it a chance. And I heard Everything Is Fine, and I was like, I like this. I like this song. It's pretty good.
That's
but then, I don't know. It's like there's a couple of good parts here and there, but there's just so much of the clean singing. And I mean,
singing.
I just don't. I can't do it, man. I need heavy Periphery, but that's just me. You know, I want my cake. I agree. Too, you know,
Reptile. I'm glad you brought it up because like that shows that they can do the whole like epic, grandiose, like orchestral thing. Like Reptile is like a narrative song about this guy fighting like reptile people, and
it's epic.
It's dumb conceptually, but it's epic and awesome, and like it actually flows well in those 16 minutes. And so I think I just went into this album being like, oh, it's just going to be like more Reptile. Like that's cool with me. And it just felt like ideas that they had left over.
Yeah.
And then it's like, let's just stitch it all together.
And if Spencer was maybe doing cleans like what we heard on Periphery 2.
Yeah.
I think I'd like, because I liked old school, like
Scarlet's a
Periphery
great
1,
song.
2. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites off that album. But yeah, this, I don't know what it is. It's just his cleans were not giving me good vibes on this album. I just couldn't get into it. But
Mostly bad vibes.
much like how
but
he,
all the
how he
respect,
looks.
obviously.
Much like how he looks. I got bad vibes from these cleans.
Let me disrespect you.
Yeah.
But
also respect you.
respect, my guy.
We'd love to have you on the show. Defend yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah.
Get in
Come
here.
on.
Come into my basement
Yeah.
and
You could feature
Never
the
leave.
opening of this Everything Stinks, though, on the next album.
You could.
Yeah.
Put as much orchestral shit as you want to over that. That's
yeah,
fine.
if you want the
Parts.
if you
They
want
do
the
well.
Sims for that, I can get them over to you for a price.
Oh, yeah.
We got one more little clip to show you guys. It's from
Do we?
Zagreus, and so just I think again just like starts off really cool. I'm really engaged. It's really interesting, and then it just like sort of leads into something else that I lose total interest in. So. So yeah, kind of stitched that together just because it was taking a long time to get there. You know what I mean?
It's not actually unusual. Like that is how some of their transitions do be sounding though. So like you could have fooled me.
Yeah. No one would have ever known
Yeah.
that I stitched those things together. But yeah, just okay.
You were the chosen one, Anakin.
My precious! He hates us.
Orc archers.
Anyways,
Yeah, I mean like. Yeah,
you
it's
see what I mean? Like I'm like, is this gonna end? When the fuck is this gonna end?
think-
I made it too long.
yeah. Zagreus has a lot of cool parts. There's like some cool blast beady parts. There's some really cool like breakdowny riffs.
Yeah.
Some really gnar vocals, and then yeah, it's just this for 13 hours.
Maybe they were playing like way too many video games.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
all
like,
of-
this song could probably end right here, but I mean, we've been playing this one game, and
Yeah.
just,
Misha's like, y'all hear about Chelsea Grin doing all the video game characters? We gotta fucking one up them.
Yeah, let's fucking
Spencer's like, no, Misha, don't.
Misha,
Yeah.
down, Misha.
but yeah, to sum it all up,
Get an editor
Yeah. It could be us
Yeah.
for a price.
for a price. Yeah, well, dang. Despite that being kind of a stinker, I'm still pumped that music is starting to like
Yeah.
I'm glad they
come
put
out
stuff
again.
out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody's putting stuff out because I mean we can't keep up with all the
No.
music releases.
Yeah,
so.
there's so much good stuff coming out, so much new, and we're excited to talk to you guys about it more. So,
And if you have any suggestions that you want us to review, send
please.
it our way.
Put them in the comments.
We have a Discord.
yeah, throw it in the comments. Jump into our Discord, and chat with us, share some music, some new singles, things that are happening, and get engaged.
Yeah.
Broskies.
Come hang out.
Tell us how we're wrong.
Tell us how we're wrong. We love
Tell us how
an
Periphery's
argument.
good.
Yeah. Tell us how all of our death metal opinions are shitty because we compare them to deathcore bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fun.
We want more of
Tell
that.
us.
Yeah, comment, hang out. There's links in the description. You can scan this little QR code to come hang out with us. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Hell yeah. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.